Building a home studio is building a home for your ideas. Your home studio, therefore, is more than just a collection of gear. The room itself is just as important. It should inspire your creativity with great sound.
Welcome back to the Neumann Home Studio Academy. In our previous episodes on recording basics, we showed you how to build and how to use your home studio. In this episode, we're going to show you how to get better sound simply by improving your room.
Perhaps the biggest difference between a home studio and a professional studio is in room acoustics. In a professional recording studio, there are two areas: a control room with the mixing desk and a recording space for the musicians, the so-called live room. While the control room is acoustically dead, more or less, to ensure an uncolored sound image for mixing purposes, the live room is designed to add some room ambience and character to the instruments recorded there. In a home studio, everything happens in one room.
That's right. So let's see if we can meet both requirements in one single room to have a dry and uncolored sound for editing and for mixing, and to have a little bit of acoustic support for recording our instruments. A practical solution to this dilemma is the so-called live and dead end approach.
The live and dead end concept was developed for control rooms, but works very well for home studios too. One end of the room is treated for a dry sound. This will be your mixing area. The other end of the room will have reflective surfaces to create a bit of ambience. This will be your recording area.
Yeah, so let's see if we can realize the concept in this room. Okay, the first step is to designate an area for mixing and for editing. And since we already set up our computer and our speakers on that side, that is going to be our dead end. And before we're going to treat that zone acoustically, let's have a look at the speaker setup.
For best results, the distance between the rear of the loudspeakers and the wall should be no more than 80 centimeters. That's 32 inches. Make sure your setup is symmetrical. The left speaker should be as far away from the left wall as the right speaker is from the right wall. This will improve stereo imaging. Ideally, the speakers and your listening position should form an equilateral triangle.
Yeah, and you can use a cable to measure the distance between your speakers and then determine where your listening position ought to be. So that's right here, more or less. Something like that. And if your room is small, you may have to reduce the distance between yourself and your speakers, but in any case, try to avoid sitting right in the middle of a room, because that's where the sound usually is worst.
For best sound and imaging, the acoustical axis of the speakers must point to your listening position. The acoustical axis is where your speakers sound best. It is an imaginary line that extends from a point just below the tweeter. Also, avoid surfaces below the speakers. That's why we mounted the speakers on stands instead of placing them directly on the desk.
So much for your speaker setup. Let's get back to the acoustical treatment of your dead end. How can you get a drier sound in your mixing area? First thing you could do is put a carpet on the floor.
A carpet can help to reduce sound reflections from the floor, but it will only be effective in the treble frequencies. Bass frequencies will not be reduced as their wavelengths are too long.
Yeah, if you want to dampen lower frequencies, you need a much thicker material. And if you don't mind spending a little bit of money, you can get these professional absorber panels, like these. And in this case, the upper part is designed to dampen the high and the mid frequencies, and the lower part is designed to dampen the lower frequencies.
If commercially available solutions are beyond your budget, you can build your own absorber panels. Do not use egg cartons. Mineral wool and dedicated acoustic foam materials are much more effective. You'll find a link below this video.
And about the positioning of these absorber panels, you want to put them right on the wall behind your speakers. And start with 2 panels. Put them right behind each speaker, and that should improve your monitoring dramatically.
If your monitoring area still doesn't sound dry enough, you can add 1 or 2 broadband absorbers between the speakers. If your room sounds boomy, try placing absorbers in the corners of your room.
By the way, a couch can be a broadband absorber too. So if you have a couch in your home studio, try putting it in a room corner. Okay, so much for your mixing area. Let's now try to focus on your recording area.
The live end of your room should have hard surfaces that reflect sound waves at all frequencies. But avoid parallel surfaces and large, even surfaces, as these will produce ugly, metallic-sounding reflections, so-called flutter echoes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most rooms have parallel and even surfaces. And there's not a lot we can do about the room's geometry. But what we could do is try to make your walls less even. Of course, it would be nice if we could just replace them with nice old stone walls like these. That would be a little bit hard. But what we could do is put elements on your wall to create a more random reflection pattern. For instance, instead of putting your guitars on stands, you could put them on the wall.
Another way to create an uneven surface is to use a bookshelf. Instead of arranging your books properly, arrange them in a disordered manner so their backs form a jagged surface. This will turn your bookshelf into an acoustic diffuser.
Right. So now we have a mixing area with absorbing materials for a dry sound, and we have a recording area with uneven reflective surfaces to create a little bit of room ambience, which is super for acoustic instruments, for instance. But what about vocals?
For vocal recording, most engineers prefer a dry sound to make the voice sound up front in the mix. In professional studios, vocals are often recorded in a vocal booth, outfitted with sound-absorbing materials.
Now, if you're looking for a dry sound in your home studio, you could record your vocals on your mixing area, your dead end. But depending on which computer you use, there may be audible fan noise which your vocal microphone would then pick up. But don't worry, there is a very easy way to create a vocal booth, and you don't have to spend any money at all.
Your wardrobe can be used as a large absorber. Open its doors and mount the vocal microphone in front of it, so the open wardrobe is in the back of the vocalist.
Yeah, this way actually works better than the other way around. You see, the cardioid pickup pattern of the microphone would reject sound coming from the rear of the microphone anyway, in this case, audible fan noise, where the clothes in the wardrobe would suppress any sound reflections coming from the singer side, where the pickup pattern is most sensitive.
Would you like to sing in this microphone with me?
Okay, I'll leave the singing to somebody else, but this is all we need. We have a vocal recording setup. We have an area to record acoustic instruments in. We have a mixing zone with proper monitoring. And that's all you need to write and to record and to mix your own songs. And we didn't even have to spend too much money. All right, so I hope you liked our show. Have fun recording, and we'll see you soon at the Neumann Home Studio Academy.
I remember how you dance, baby. I wanna dance, baby, with you. I remember how you kissed, baby. I wanna kiss, baby, from you. I remember those steel blue eyes moving down my body, head to toe. I remember how you kissed, baby. I wanna kiss, baby, right now.